Hey, what's going on? What's going on? All right, so we did the Firebase authorization on the last video, and we've covered a lot so far already. So if you just jumping in right now, you're probably gonna be lost. So just get back to the beginning and catch up. But last thing we gotta do now is we gotta make sure that this private page right here is private. Basically, it's gone. It's not there when this is kind of crooked. There you go. So that it's not there when you haven't logged in. So the whole purpose of being able to log in into an application is to have a private section, right? So this is going to be useful for you no matter what. But I'm going to show you in the simplest way and the simplest case scenario that you can use this for. Okay. All right. So where do I start? All right, so yeah, all right. So the first thing that we have to do, all right, let's see. So the first thing that we have to do is that we have to make sure that this navigation right here that contains, where am I? Not bar, okay. That this navigation here, right? Where we have this nav bar, this private menu item that is not visible at all, right? Because we're going to protect this in a different way. We're going to protect this so that people can hiding this alone. Let's just back up. Okay, hiding this alone is not going to cut it, right? So if I hid that from there, I don't know, by just basically the way that we're going to show you right now, that's fine. But it will still, people will still be able to hijack the URL and then access the page without having access to an actual link to click on, right? You can still index it through that. What we want to do is we want to make sure that we protect the URL as well, so that no one can even hijack it by typing it up in here. So we have to work with the routes as well. But let's just do one step at a time. First thing is we got to make sure that we filter this navigation based on the user logged in. So we have this here, and then inside somewhere, let me minimize all of this stuff. Right here is a good place as any. We're gonna create a new navigation, right? And we're gonna call this filtered. What am I doing? Oh, filter navigation. Filter navigation. And what we're going to do is we're gonna do a navigation filter where the item name is, if the item name is not equal private. So technically speaking, this is right. Okay, this is what we want to do. We want to navigate. We want to get this navigation right here. We want to filter through that navigation, and this item is just a placeholder. It could be Lewis. It could be these two right here. It could be Lewis. It could be item. It could be thing. It could be whatever that name, because we are gonna filter based on this value right here, and we're gonna make sure that we send to the filter navigation everything that is not private. Okay, so that if we run that right there, we can basically just come over here now and use this and go down to where we're doing the navigations, and this both app menus right here, and then we're gonna Control D, Control V. We're gonna flip it. We're gonna use that, and now if we come over here, we're not signed in, therefore we're not being able to use it, right? Now what happens if we sign in? If we sign in, we still don't see it. So the reason why we're not seeing it is because we're not putting a condition on when to show it and when to hide it. So what we're going to do here is we're gonna say for the filter navigation, if the user is logged in, show the navigation. Correct, show the navigation. Otherwise, show the filter navigation. Okay, now right now this only works for that particular item right there, for just one page. If you have more than one page, like 2, 3, 4, 5 pages, then you may want to create an array where you can basically group all of these pages that you're going to protect, and then make sure that all of those pages that are protected in there are the ones that you're going to filter in this right here. So if the value includes, the item name includes any of the values in there. So right now I'm not going to show you how to do that now because we're only working with one, but maybe we can do that later on. I just want to get through this a little faster. So I'm going to go ahead and save this now, and now it shows the private. If I sign out, it hides it, but if I sign in, it shows it. Okay, now you may think, okay, done deal, that's it, done, easy, we're done with this. Not really, because let's say we're in the home page and I don't have access to it right now, right? I don't have anywhere to get to it. But if I come over here and I put private, assuming that I know the URL name, notice that I am in the private page. I did end up hijacking this. So we have to find a way to not have people do that. All right. So what are we gonna do is we're going to let me clear out some of my notes here. And okay, we're done with that. All right. So now the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to work with the apps.js. So let's keep that here, and let's close everything else. Let's close everything else, and let's close this as well to get rid of the mess. Now in the screens, routes, in the routes, we're gonna create a new file, and we're gonna call it protected route JSX, and then we're going to include some goodies in there. All right, so for this right here, the first thing we need to do is RAFCE. So create that, and matter of fact, it's not RAFCEP, it's P, that one. Remember, has the prop types. Yeah, I remember. All right, let's put that there. All right, so which one of the protected route that we're going to send? Okay, so this structure, an element, and that element is going to include a component, and then props, and then the rest of the props that are going to go with the component. So we're going to do that, and then now we got to bring the use auth into play. So, and that is in the auth provider, I believe. So import use auth from provider. Yeah, so we're gonna bring in the auth provider, and then we're gonna bring in from the React router DOM, which is a new one. We haven't used this one yet. We're gonna bring navigate from React router DOM, right? That guy right there. All right. Now in here, in the controller, in the component that we're using, first thing is right there, we're gonna create a constant called user logged in that brings in all the information from the use auth. Okay, and then we're gonna say for the return, and then for the return, where basically we can just hide all of this. Actually, we don't need any of that. We're gonna say if the user logged in, navigate literal replace true. Okay, we don't need this logging here, and we don't need replace true either. Yep, I think that's about right. Okay, so we're gonna return it, and then we're gonna, under protected types, we're going to make sure that the elements are there. We don't need React. All right, cool. So this is what we need. So in the protected route is going to destruct an element that contains the component and any spread out props that the component is going to have. Then we're going to create this user auth on the user login. For this hook, we're going to return if the hook, we're going to make sure that the user is logged in. If the user is logged in, then run the component with all these props. But if it's not logged in, then don't run the component with the props that we're going to give it, and instead navigate to the home page. Route them directly to the home page. So now that we have that, we can go back to the apps page, and then we're gonna import our protected route down here. We're gonna import our protected route, and then you see this guy right here. This is going to be going away, and instead we're gonna do exactly like that. We're gonna do, instead of a route, we're gonna do it a protected route, where the path, which is the props spread out this component and these props are basically this component and these props. Okay, so the element is going to come in with the component inside it. That's the element that with destruction. I'm sorry, this right here. Yeah, let me back up, I got confused. That element right there is this element right here, which is going to include the component that we're bringing in, which any props that it may have. So now that that is in there, I can go ahead and close the apps.js, and now let's replace. There you go. All right, so we are at home, we're here, we are private, that's fine. Wait a minute, that is not correct. Let's see where we messed up. Navigate to props, element, protected route. Navigate to protected type, user logged in. Use auth from the auth context auth provider, yes. And navigate, all right. The protected route equals to the element, the component for the props. If the user is logged in, use auth, and then return if the user is logged in, component props. If not, navigate to the home page. What is going on? There's no errors. Protect the route. All children of route. All children must be a route. What? But I did. All children. Oh. Sorry. Okay, so this is why I got confused to begin with. You have to create a route, and then that route is what has the inside the element is what brings that protected route component. So protected route with all the props included, which is going to be element, come on, element, and then the element is going to be private. All right, let me see. So for the route, check if the path is private, run the element, and this element is going to be the component and the props. Yeah, this is right. Okay, so let's run this. Let's go back to the home page. There you go. About contact, I don't see the private page. Everything is fine. And if I try to hijack it to the private page, it goes away. It brings me right back to the home page. That's exactly what I want. Now, if I signed in, then yeah, then I have access to the private page, and there's the private page right there. Cool, it's working perfect. So that's all I'm gonna do for this video right now. I think all of this is working perfectly. Maybe for the next video we want to tackle on some of these the dark and light differences, and that way once that's done, then the last video would just be a couple of things inside the pages, some page content, just to give it a little bit of body, just so it's not like a blank page. Okay, but we're almost done really, because after this is just, you know, kind of just a couple of things that are important, like being able to send email to your email. That's a big one. And then the final thing, which is building everything and sending it to your hosting company, which we're gonna use DreamHost. All right, I'll catch you guys later.